It's me, Rav. Bill and I are going on tour this October and November. 30 cities nationwide. Get your tickets now at keepthechangetour.com. Bye-bye.
Thank you to our patrons for helping make this podcast possible.
What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? It's your boy, Rav, and unfortunately, Bill will not be joining me on today's episode because of the hurricane that took place last week in the southeast of the U.S., and our thoughts and wishes are with everyone affected by the hurricane. Let me be the first one to reassure you that Bill's fine. Somehow, he lives in like a part of just outside of Asheville that didn't get affected at all. Obviously, the power's out for the whole city, I think, and so is the water. So Bill is taking refuge currently in Charleston, South Carolina, until things come back to normal, whatever that may be. But he is fine. He's doing A-okay. I was talking with him earlier, bullshitting. He's fine. And I hope all of you are fine as well. In his stead, I will be having another bald person step in, our producer, Mitch. What up, Mitch? How's it going?
Hello. When you started that sentence, I thought you were going to say, unfortunately, Mitch is here with me.
I mean, you know, that's for you to take up with your therapist.
Fair enough, man.
How you been, Mitch?
I've been good, busy with stuff.
Have you talked about what your stuff is in public, or do you not feel comfortable
I don't
about
know. It's fine. I think I'm taking classes for like program and software engineering. So I have a lot of like schoolwork and stuff to do with that. But it's been fun. It's been really interesting and cool to see like that other side of software, I guess, and technology.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. That sounds exciting. What is in store for Mitch in the future, do you think? What is your ultimate evil plan?
Well, my ultimate evil plan, you see, is that I would like to rule the world. No, I'm thinking like once I'm done with school, the major plan is to kind of start working remotely to be able to travel around more, be a bit more free in that kind of sense. That's kind of the goal overall. But yeah.
Yeah, well, I wish you luck with that. Hey, good luck, pal. Yeah, good luck with that.
How about you? What you been up to? How you been?
I've been good. I just did a show last week. It was a last minute thing. 2 days prior to the show, I was hit up by Open My Eagle saying like, yo, me and my boys, previous industries are opening up this leg of the tour in Minneapolis, and our opening act is unfortunately stuck abroad. Can you step in last minute? I said yes. I then also tagged along with them to Chicago because that's where they're from, and I wanted to see their set be performed in front of, like, a lot of those people were their family members and stuff like that, people they grew up around, and it means something different. So that was really dope. I got to see Cavalier's set, shout outs Backwood Studios. It was dope. The whole ride itself was just a really long drive, obviously, but it was so many good conversations were had. But I want to talk with Bill about that because there's a few, I feel like, hip-hop things that he would be interested in.
For sure.
I think he'd be able to appreciate more than you in the sense that there's some of this stuff is like a lot more niche knowledge.
Yeah, that's fair. That is fair.
Yeah. What's going on? I'm sensing a lot of nervous laughter from you and a lot of nervousness. Should I be a little worried?
No, I'm not nervous. It's just...
It feels like you're about to prank me and you're really worried about the prank being recognized.
It's going to happen. No,
Me spotting the prank.
I think the most anxious I am is that like I've been so like focused in on like schoolwork and stuff like that like I'm worried I'm gonna be like, I need to come up with a comment or something to say, and then I'm just gonna be like,
no. I always tell people I think it's always best to default in moments like this to just being the straight man.
That's fair.
Because there's nothing wrong with having multiple straight men, in a setting, you know? That's just, I guess, a podcast at that point. A very regular, traditional one. And it's not like constantly there needs to be some sort of like comedic force that has to step up, especially since you never signed up for this in the first place. I appreciate you stepping in. You also don't have to step into much of a involved capacity if you don't like, you know.
No, I like doing this. This is fun.
Okay. So long as it's not too stressful.
No, it's fine. I just if you can sense me getting into my own head, you have to like, you know.
Yeah, but my instinct is to want to bully you.
No, that's fine.
My instinct is to want to make fun of that, you know?
Yeah.
But I don't want to make light of it. It's just that's kind of like my way of coping with it. Is just like, come on.
No, it's okay.
If I make fun of it, then it's not that serious type shit. You know what I mean?
That's fine.
Okay. Yeah.
I guess one other thing I've been kind of getting into is I kind of dove headfirst into Gunpla and stuff like Gundam building.
Oh, hell yeah.
So
you caught the bug.
I caught the bug. So I have like a bunch of stuff here. Like you can see behind me.
Oh, look at them.
A few of them.
Whoa, okay.
Yeah.
Mind showing a few of them up a little closer? Would you bring them over?
So this one.
Or are you worried about breaking them? I understand.
No, it's fine. This is like the classic, you know. This guy, I was doing panel lining on him.
So for the audio listeners, he's got the most classic Gundam that you could possibly imagine. You know, the gray with the blue and the red and the yellow. You know what I mean? The shield and all that. Looks awesome.
And then this one is my favorite one so far.
Your favorite one so far? Let's see.
It's the Barbados.
Yeah, I love the broadsword.
Oh, and like the big pauldrons on the shoulders and the sword. This one's really sick. I've been really getting into. There's also like there's so much more to
Imagine that him kneeing someone. Those knees are crazy.
Oh yeah.
That knee going up your ass.
Yeah.
Sorry, you were saying?
I was just saying that there's so much more in like Gunpla than I thought there would be. Like I guess it makes sense, but like you know, stuff like drawing in the panels and like painting and then like fusing, actually like making them stay together, that kind of stuff.
Oh, damn. Yeah.
It's really awesome. Fun. I know that you have a Gundam that you're going to be building on stream at some point, right?
No, I already built it.
Oh, you already built it?
Yeah, it was a while back. Yeah. Let's see if I can pull it up.
Oh, I love that kind. Oh, that's the same version as this one.
Nah, not really. I think so, actually. Yeah, kind of, right? Wait. Yeah, no, you're right.
This is another one. They were having a sale at Hobby Lobby and everything was like 50% off. So I got this for like less than $10.
That's awesome. Yeah, it's such a relaxing thing to get into, you know. I find anything to do with like one's hands and like repetitive stuff and like, why are you smirking?
What?
You're smirking.
I love tasks that involve repetitive movements with my hands.
You're a fucking freak.
It's relaxing. What do you mean? Freak. What are you talking about?
You're a fucking freak. I'm talking about like working with something really tiny, like working with something really, really tiny.
Yeah, exactly.
You got to be careful with it. You know, it's fragile.
That's what I'm talking about. And it has and it like bends at 90 degrees partway down. Like part
my
of the hobby.
Gundams, I don't know if my Gundam can do all that, but yeah.
Oh, Gundams. Right. Yeah.
Yeah, let's see what else. But other than that, I don't know if I ended up answering your question as to what I've been up to besides I mentioned the shows, but well, yeah, aside from the show dates, I guess there's a few other things I've been up to. You are now tuning into Void FM.
4050 feet, why don't you turn around and let's go back into the table. Okay. view from there, and I'll see what the field of view looks like.
Okay.
That's what I do. I poke the vein that sticks out of my forehead when I think of things. I go, oh, yes. It makes my blood pump through my brain faster.
Is that the thought vein?
Yeah.
Oh God. Oh my God. Okay, so honestly, I've mostly just been getting ready for tour because it's so close.
It's so
at the time of
close.
us recording this, it's 13 days away. At the time of it coming out, it's 12 days away.
Yeah.
It's really right around the corner, and it's starting to hit me where I'm like, oh fuck, do we have this ready? Do we have that ready? I've been mostly busy editing promo videos and posting them, and
You've been killing those.
oh,
Big
thank
time.
you. You know, I have to. I'm glad I can make you proud. You know, like I don't want to let you, the person who's known for editing, down. If you tell me it's good, then I usually sort of feel like, yeah, it's good.
No, it's great. You have like a very specific, like when you do those videos, your style of doing them, it's like very honed in. Like it's very impressive.
Oh, thank you.
It's really cool.
I appreciate that. I really don't know what my style would even be. I think I'm going to stream myself editing tomorrow's one later
do
today.
it. That's a cool
Just to
idea.
show people how easy it really is to do all
Yeah.
of that stuff, you know, so that maybe more people would be willing to incorporate some of these things into their own self-expression or whatever they want to do, you know?
Yeah.
Let's see. Other than that, it's hard. That's been like almost all encompassing. I've been also trying to get more cozy in the crib.
Yeah.
The studio is not quite done yet, but I'm almost done with it, you know?
It looks
I
great.
feel like I'm almost done. Thank you. I feel almost done with it. I'm really happy with this wall that I was telling y'all about last time. Look, it's going to be tall. It's taller than Bill and Square.
That's sick. I like the plant wall.
Yeah. I thought it'd be fun. And you could see a little thing that's sticking out there.
Yeah.
It's the thing that will like ring the alarms if there's a fire.
Oh, okay.
I cut a little piece out for it.
Nice.
But yeah, it's starting to feel cozier in here. So this is the first room I want to be like done with.
Yeah.
And I think I should be done with it by next week's episode because
Ooh.
all of my stuff is finally getting here from the UK this week. It's getting here on Thursday, I
That's
think.
right.
Yeah, I'm going to have my computer again, so I'll be able to play PC games.
Yes.
I'll be able to stream and record these episodes in like with a more like, I don't know, convenient setup and a mic arm so I don't have to hold it myself. Just kind of getting back to normal with it.
Yeah.
That's exciting. And with that and a couple other things, I think I should be done with this room this week. And as for like my bedroom, it's almost done. And the living room is going to be a work in progress all the way into winter, I think.
Yeah. Living rooms
It's
are
just-
tricky. They're big spaces.
They are. And it's the room I've been spending the least amount of time in so far. I spend most of my time either here in this room or like in the if I'm making something in the kitchen, I come bring it, eat it in the studio now. You know?
Yeah.
Rather than eat there. And the rest of my time I spend in my room, you know, so
I'm very similar. I don't spend much time like in the living room itself.
yeah. I'm trying to change that. I'm gonna try to, especially as winter comes, there's like a coziness about winter that I look forward to.
Yeah.
Then again, you know what? I think knowing myself, the coziness is going to keep me in this studio even more so because I have the window right here behind my setup. Just imagining the snow and like it being cold outside, but it's nice and warm inside while we play some sort of FPS online game and we
Yeah.
scream at each other.
Bro. Oh man. Like I haven't been playing that many like intense games recently.
Mhm.
And I'm worried that like Okay, there's been moments like recently if I'm playing a game and I get like a little frustrated, like that moment of a little bit of frustration is like more than how I used to get frustrated before. So I'm worried that if we go back into playing like more competitive style games, I'm going to lose my mind.
You need a box. Okay?
Yeah.
You need a box within which you will build like, okay, think of it this way. You there's like a fist-sized hole that's in the box on one side, right?
Okay, yeah.
Maybe we put
You
some
hooked
sort of
me.
material in there so you don't see the hole, but you can punch your hand through it. It's kind of like
Oh, okay. Like
You know
I'm
what I'm
punching
saying?
the drywall.
kind of, but like on the inside is like a bunch of like fake glass, you know, the sugar glass shields and
Yeah.
things like that. And so when you punch through it, and on the outside we have what looks like glass, right? So it looks like you can see through it like a glass container of this box. But in reality, each side is a monitor, is a screen. And it's creating the illusion of whatever it is that you're mad at. Your brain quickly interprets what it is that you're most mad at, manifests it within it, and then you punch your fist through it, and as you feel the sugar glass break, it'll feel like you're breaking that person's skull, for instance, or whatever, and they will shatter along with your fist or whatever, you know? It's like it's a mix of, I guess, what would you call it? AR, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's AR. So people haven't incorporated enough AR into rage rooms and axe throwing, I feel like, at all. It's an untapped market, right?
Dude, that is a good idea.
Right?
Wait, I could imagine, like, okay, can you imagine you go to an axe throwing room and you like give them a USB drive, you're like, load this one up, buddy. Load these PNGs up into the
Yeah.
and it's just like they load it up and it's just like someone you don't like. It's like
Right. Okay, yeah, it's someone you don't like, and it's not just a PNG. What about it's like it's a whole skin? Let's say it's a 3D
their
model.
skin in a box.
Right. No. I'm saying it's like the data asset of their skin, right? 3D asset. It models it on a
UV
person.
unwrapped.
And then you can decide on their characteristics and behaviors. Like, I want them to be running away, right? As I give chase. Now, the ground, as you run, the ground will actually make it feel like you're going somewhere because it will change underneath you. But in reality, just your environment is projected onto screens will give you the essence of like you moving through a space, right?
Yeah.
And you go after them, okay? At that point, are we not just doing Westworld?
This is just Westworld, yeah. Like, can you imagine? Like, oh, I could just be like, yeah, computer, show me the guy that cut me off today. And I just load it up and I go, God, and I just start like stabbing him in AR. I'm like, this feels good. And it's like, wait, maybe this is an issue if I'm enjoying this.
Yeah. So that's fucked up, right? That version is fucked up. The full room, the chasing, their living kind of version, right? But if it's just a model, right, and you're supposed to interpret it as, oh, this is a glass sculpture of their head, right? And so like that's how they skirt the law, saying like, well, you're not actually killing your opponent. It's just a glass.
Bro.
Yeah, but it's portable. That's the thing. So you're at home for it would be sold to gamers and people, sports bettors, and people who just watch sports in general, right? And there'll be different versions of them. Ones that you can set on the floor and kick. They're like angled more for kicks and kneeing.
Yeah.
There'll be the full body ones where it'll be just kind of like those, you know, in the 90s they had those things that you would just keep punching and they would just keep coming back.
Yeah.
What were they called?
Yeah. Like the soccer boppers things? Or like the...
well, soccer bop.
They had a brand
like,
of them.
Were specifically, the fist ones, right? But maybe that's just the brand. But either way,
just like those
those like the
punching
ones that
bag
you
things.
punch.
Yeah.
You hit them, they come back. It's an evolution of that. And but inside of it, it has like some. That the thing is, it's like for it to be able to assume different type of feel or material. I would like that because it's when you hit it, I want it to not hurt me, but for it to feel like I'm really breaking stuff. You know?
Yeah.
I guess I don't know. What does this say about me? Should I be concerned?
This is just like I feel like this would be in a similar like category of like a fleshlight. It's like, but like a different type of emotion is
but
being
violence,
but
fleshlight.
violent. Yeah, there you go. That's how you brand it.
Oh my god! Yeah,
it sounds awful.
That sounds awful. We should not do that. But if it's specifically to kind of like, yeah, no, that can't be right. That shouldn't be the way that one lets energy out in the first place, I suppose, right? But what if it's already accumulated to that point? It's like either crying or, punching a glass sculpture of your father. I don't know.
No, Doc, you gotta understand. I need this. If I don't have it, I'm gonna go punch someone in real life.
There you go. So maybe that could be done. But I could see a world where at least AR is utilized more with haptic feedback. Mm-hmm. Because that's one of the things that's missing right now. A lot of AR stuff is just like vibrations on the phone or whatever you might be using. But what if it's incorporating a level of like actual physical interaction? What if, for instance, it's you'd go with one texture, right? But then in AR, it imposes another thing. But because both would feel similar, as you're looking through the AR and you're touching it, it really tricks your brain into thinking that you're interacting with the AR projected version of that material. Because it will feel the same. Yeah. And it's something you could test out, like, you basically just get a bunch of things that have similar density, similar feelings, etc., organize them, and then get someone to touch, like, I don't know, wheat, and then you find out corkscrew material feels the exact same way, right? You get another group of people to basically touch that same wheat, but they think they're touching corkscrews because that's what the AR visual is telling them. And then seeing if, like, how believable that is,
Yeah.
Because then with that, you could do a bunch. Because then you could simulate a lot of haptic feedback in a way that, You're smirking again. Are you thinking about how to do this on your dick or something?
I don't know what you're talking about.
How does it keep coming back to your dick?
What? Like, look, how does it not?
Explain. What kind of materials?
Okay, sex sells, right? Okay.
Right. So you're saying like, okay, I mean, I'm sure there's already like rigs, VR goggle rigs where you put on that go together with like fleshlight shit.
I am
hardware.
aware that those exist, not because I've looked into it, but because
and not because you're looking at it.
Not because I'm looking at it right now. Like I was furiously Googling it. No. Okay.
Yeah.
There was like have you not? There was like an ad campaign. Like when people have a hit tweet and they get a little ad underneath their tweets. One of them was just like this is this cool new game controller. Had a big tubular feature in the center that would go really loud. And people are like, this is for cleaning vegetables. That's crazy. That was like the thing. It was
cleaning vegetables.
Yeah, it's like you need to clean your cucumbers, and they'd have a cucumber.
Oh no! Mom found the vegetable cleaner.
And it's like a controller. It has Imagine a Switch controller, right? And in the center, instead of a screen, it's like a big tube.
Yeah, for cleaning, putting vegetables into.
Yeah, and people, like, they'd have it there, and then they'd have a cucumber in it, and it would be going, it would sound like this. It would sound like, go.
That's awesome.
Like
That's
an
my favorite
oil drilling machine.
That's amazing. Yeah,
It
I've
was so
never
funny.
been shown this ad, unfortunately. I feel like I've missed out.
Crazy. I need to clear my cookies, I think.
I think you do, friend. I think that was tailored to you.
No, they
I
were
think
a
you got some
paid ad.
vegetables to clean in your life.
I had
Oh my
one
goodness.
tweet where it was like
yeah?
a quote unquote hit tweet like a year or two ago. And I was getting like DMs from these bots being like, we'll pay you to advertise this. And it was all like fleshlights and stuff. And I was like, look, this is not on brand for me. I can't.
Please do that. Please
Dude, if I get another hit tweet, I'll do it. That'd be
do exclusively dildos. And then at the end, just do like the dancing emoji and a money bag emoji.
yeah. Money
You know?
bag emoji.
I think people will understand. Just the thought of like you making like a wholesome whatever meme and then immediately selling dildos underneath it.
It was
is
that
great.
It was that Gmod out. You know when people were doing like the sheesh?
Oh yeah, sheesh.
And I photoshopped it so my clothes were the missing texture thing from Gmod.
Yeah,
That one got like 11,000 likes, I think.
yeah. You haven't done anything like that
I
in a long
know.
time.
I haven't been. I dropped the ball. I'm gonna be real.
Well, you haven't dropped the ball. You've been busy with so much
That's
stuff
true.
going on, right?
I've been busy, but yeah, that was that one did gangbusters, and I didn't advertise any of the dildos or pocket pussies that were attempted for me to start
Dude,
chilling.
you got to come visit me in Minneapolis. I'll take you to Sex World.
That is tempting. That's a tempting offer.
It's,
Hey, buddy, come
literally
visit me. I'll
right-
take you to Sex World.
It's right down the road. I'm not even lying. You when you step outside of the house, you could kind of see it, the neon sign of Sex World.
Yeah, buddy, I got Sex World too. It's one room over from me. It's my bedroom.
Yo. Yeah. So Sex World.
Wait.
I got to take you to Sex World. It's pretty awesome.
It's like a. Is it like what kind of? It's a sex shop, right?
It's half sex shop, half smoking paraphernalia shop.
Oh, okay. I haven't like really been into a sex shop before. Being honest, never been in a sex shop. Sorry.
Well, you'll be fine with me. You know, the employees pretty much know me now. Which is, you know, I recognize that is not the biggest flex I should be proud of.
Hey, give me the
employees
usual.
of Sex World. But it's because it's the nearest ATM for me that I can walk to.
Yeah.
Literally the nearest ATM to me.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah.
And of course, because usually when I do take money out, it would usually be for
Sex World
potentially
items.
something smoking related, so I can get my smoking things while I'm there as well.
That. I feel like.
And that's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
Yeah, I believe you.
I'll take you to Sex World, and you'll see for yourself.
I feel like I need HR in this. I'll take you to Sex World.
Yeah. So, okay, tell me, but none of the perverse thoughts that obviously crawled into your
I've
mind.
never had one of those in my life, friend.
What would be some cool like prediction of the future that you have that maybe has to do with AR or something or VR or in that realm? Because for instance, I don't know if you saw the other day, Zuckerberg was like, first of all, looking like I don't know what the
He
fuck
looks
he had a gold
crazy,
chain
bro.
on and everything. When did he start dressing like
He
this?
looks insane because like he's
It's
got like the
it's not a
broccoli
bad
top.
fit.
It's not bad.
It's not a bad fit. It's just like when did you like? I mean, I guess he now has a stylist or something, but it does freak me out. You know,
It is.
He's trying to be
weird.
normal,
Like
but he'll never.
He's like
never make it work.
sunburned.
Oh
like-
yeah.
Like,
Because he, you know, I don't know.
he's a reptile.
So he was talking about how in the future, like glasses, like VR glasses or AR VR glasses are going to be bigger. Like he was saying Apple glasses are going to be, sorry, not Apple glasses, but he was basically saying that type of thing would be bigger than phones. And I think he's an idiot. So
agree.
I think he's absolutely wrong because the difference between a phone and glasses is a phone you can put in your pocket and like it's not necessarily revealing of your style. Wearing something on your face has consequences on you overall, like aesthetically.
Oh,
And that is a big thing for people. That is why I never thought watches were really going to replace phones either, because watches is something you have to also visually wear on you. So I just don't see something like that happening. I see what he's saying in terms of like everything in the world could be technically done in a way where if you're wearing AR goggles, glasses, whatever, you come outside, the whole world is like, there's even more advertisement. You know, there's billboards in front of the billboards. There's, or whatever, this nightmare, hellish nights. We're going to basically eventually see hundreds of years down the line. But I think he sees like an opportunity for us to expand beyond like maybe what is. And I think I kind of agree with that notion, but not necessarily that it would be achieved with some sort of wearable shit like that.
Yeah,
I
know. I agree.
Let alone contact lenses. That's even more invasive.
Contact lenses would be insane.
Yeah,
no, thank you.
No.
Man, that Google Glass thing, when people are walking around with those, first of all, Google Glass is so ugly.
Yeah, it looks fucking atrocious.
And like the people walking around with them, because you know that like, do you see those like social media posts? They were trying to look so cool, but they looked so dumb.
Yeah.
It's like, you know, it was just gonna start turning into a advertisement hellscape of like, you know, ads everywhere, you know?
Yeah.
And I guess for predictions, I would say like, you know, there's the ones that I would say are kind of in the near future are definitely like stuff like more haptic feedback items. So like haptic gloves, you know, they're trying to go into like a Ready Player One type beat situation.
Yeah. I think it's hard to strike a balance because here's my issue with it. Like either all in or no pussyfooting around. That's how I see it. Because for me, it's like, okay, if you're going to make me feel like I'm in this VR world and I can see my hands and I can move it and it's all realistic, whoa, and then I don't have legs or like I can't control my feet or legs, but I know I have them, I can feel them.
Yeah.
That destroys that illusion. I know that for many people, they can still like suspend a little bit, but for me, that's just like, there's a dissonance there.
Yeah.
And that immediately starts to make me feel dizzy even, you know, because there's like, there's an interpretation of what I should be seeing, or at least what I can feel versus what I can see. And it's only half of what I can feel or whatever. Yeah. And so the more they make it, they're like, oh, well, your hands are even more detailed and you can feel the warmth and all of these things. And there is smell, but still like I can't move around or, you know, then, or at least if they could do some of the early stuff like that, where the games you have to sit down and maybe you could still read your leg data a bit so long as it's in like some sort of within a certain space. Yeah. And make it so that it's like mostly racing games and flying games and office job games, etc. Right?
Office job games. Where you work your everyday job.
Everyday job game.
Yeah.
Wheelchair games.
Simulator.
Wheelchair games?
Wheelchair games. You know? Where you pretend to be in a wheelchair.
There you go. And it could be like a city explorer in a wheelchair, you know?
That would be, yeah. Oh,
it could be kind of fun.
You get to experience what it's like.
But it's like you go over like a manhole that's like shaking and then it shoots you up the water. And it's like it shakes the chair and you're like, oh, and it seems like, you know, you feel it and you see it and there's a little bit of water sprinkled on you or whatever. I need to be fully in there, you know, like I need to, if you can achieve that, then... But also at that point, how the fuck are you supposed to make that achievable at home? Yeah. You know, to the average person. This needs to be like average consumer friendly, not some sort of like rare arcade experience only, right? Yeah. And I just don't see that in the near future. I think that's going to be well into when you and I are going to be really old. Maybe is when we'll see some of that.
You think so?
Like, I hope not. You know, I just, I'm just someone who remembers. Also, sorry for the sounds. There's a train going
Yeah.
by. Yay, it's pretty. But I remember trying 3D shit out like at an arcade 20 years ago.
Virtual
20 plus
Boy.
years ago. No, you fucking asshole. At an actual arcade.
I'm sorry.
There were goggles for a real 3D space game, you asshole. Pac-Man.
Yeah, Pong.
Pong? Wow. Yeah, so, and I remember like, oh, this is so promising, so exciting, and everyone's like, 3D is the future. And then, next summer there was like Spy Kids 3D at cinemas, and
That
you go
movie
watch
rocked.
it, and you're like, oh, wow, they shot some... They did some stuff, They did some stuff, and then you're like, oh, maybe this will be the future, and then it never was.
It never was. It never
It
was.
never was, and it never has been since. It's just never. It doesn't click with people just yet because I think the experience in itself hasn't been fine-tuned to be comfortable. Like if there's too much of a change to what you would regularly be doing, then I don't see it necessarily like surviving.
That's fair.
Like,
I agree.
You know what I'm saying? So I don't know, and I think it's gonna take a long time before it becomes. I'd say within the next 10 years, maybe they tap into some sort of haptic feedback and all that shit to make an arcade version of this experience, or like a cinema, like certain cinemas would rent out this kind of equipment or something. I don't know. Initially, and then maybe they would make like more home-friendly versions, which would still be super expensive, but it would be like the first line. And then years down the line, they would find ways to cheapen it and blah blah blah, like 3D printers or normal printers for that matter, like how most things kind of go. So I think by the time there is a more portable, non-invasive, normal way of engaging in it, in that kind of thing, I think you and I will be old, realistically.
No. Yeah, no, you're probably right. I think, well, I mean, I know Zuckerberg is really leaning into it now because he's invested so much of it and he thinks it's the future, that whole thing. And
I think he wants us to think he thinks it's the future.
Oh, really? Why is that?
Yeah, I don't think he thinks it's the future because most things with software and just the industry of technology is speculative, right? It's about like the potential. And that it's the same reason why like Tesla is worth so much more than car companies usually are worth, because it is not a car company. It's not an automobile company.
Yeah,
it is a tech company.
It's a tech company.
And those are evaluated much higher because of like the tech boom, and especially like post Facebook and all these things. People are just, and post, Uber, everyone has been trying to put their money into like whatever they think the next big thing will be, So everyone's trying to convince you it's different things. There's people who are telling you electric cars and EVs are the future, or space is the future, or that VR and AR is the future, or that, you know what I'm saying? It's everyone's trying to sell you on like what is going to be super essential and as such will be worth tons and tons of money. And so people with a lot of money go in and they're like, I want to have a bite of that while I have an opportunity. Also, they'll just throw money at anything because they have enough money. They're too big to fail anyway.
Yeah.
But that speculation, that I think is the potential that drives the industry and not the reality.
That's true.
I think the reality is just catching up with yesterday, and tomorrow is just an advert. We're selling tomorrow as like a thing. And so maybe that's kind of cynical of me, but that's why I don't, when someone like Mark Zuckerberg says they believe in that, I don't interpret that he thinks this is the future. He wants us to think that this is the future. The same way that like a bunch of people want us to think certain AI is the future as well. And certain people were trying to tap into that market as well ahead of time.
Yeah, absolutely.
These are no coincidences.
It's exactly like that. And like the crypto guys, they just
Mm-hmm.
like these people are just trying to find like internet to happen again. They want internet 2.0, I guess 3.0, but like because they saw how like, they see people like Jeff Bezos who like at the beginning when internet was first starting, he started like a pretty simple business and got super rich from it.
Yeah, like it was just a online bookstore.
Yeah, and they want to like
Amazon
recreate that with like crypto and like Web 3.0 and all that. But that's not. I think if something that's gonna boom like the internet like exploded, it's not gonna be that same sphere. It's gonna be something we don't even know about yet. You know what I mean? Because everything like in terms of internet has been done, and then everything is just gonna be like accoutrement. It has to be like new technology, I think.
To say that everything's been done, I feel like it's too premature. I feel like it's too early.
That's fair.
I think there's more untapped than tapped, personally. I just feel like you are right. Some of the most essential parts of the internet that we've discovered for ourselves have already been essentially monopolized or oligopolized, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so it does feel like, okay, so, like, for instance, there was a progression from, you could torrent music to like, okay, well then streaming was a reaction to that. So as to create an alternative that was more convenient than torrenting, that was worth money. Well, it wasn't free. Torrenting is free, but it's easier, and so that was good enough. I don't know. There's going to be stuff there's going to be competitors, obviously, to streaming, platforms. Currently, there's like Twitch, Rumble, and Kick. My prediction is Kick will be out of the game, hopefully, sometime in the next 10 years. Same goes for Rumble,
sure.
And so that opens up potentially opportunity for more competitors, but also knowing how a lot of the API stuff works and the fact that in order to have like a streaming platform in the first place, you need to have kind of like as much wealth and power as Amazon or Google have in order to honestly be able to step into it.
Yeah.
Even someone like Kick, which is run by Stake and is worth billions. It's a casino, online casino.
Oh.
You didn't know?
No, I don't know.
Stake.com started Kick,
It's like
streaming platform, as soon as Twitch banned gambling on Twitch. Because that's where Stake.com was making most of their money from, is by getting the top streamers to gamble on Twitch. As soon as Twitch banned that, they started Kick and invited a bunch of people over, giving certain people, including XQC and Drake, $100 million each, just to occasionally stream on their platform and promote their gambling casino. That's where the Drake meme comes from. The I need to win.
I need to max win. Yeah, I thought that was just like a silly little character on a hat he had. I got like psyoped into knowing about a
gambling machine. An online gambling machine. Yeah.
I thought it was
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah. I had no idea that I was like totally like built up. That wasn't like organic at all.
No.
Drake not being real? What?
And so who knows, so maybe like streaming was a bad example in terms of like, in the future there will be more competitors. That's the other thing. Like, it's kind of hard to imagine more competitors when there's like fewer and fewer players that like own everything as time goes on.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it keeps accumulating, like all the power and wealth accumulates in like very specific corners. Like with music streaming, it's hard to imagine an app to come out that would revolutionize things, given how like rigid this current streaming system seems to be. Same with shorts format. It's another thing that like came and actually has survived.
That's true.
Like a lot of people still talk about TikToks as if they're really new, but it's been like over half a decade at this point, I'm pretty sure, right?
It's been a while. Like TikTok was around when Vine was around, wasn't it?
Oh, well, I think that it was musically.
Yeah.
Yeah. But specifically, even as TikTok, I think it's existed for around 4 or 5 years potentially at this point.
Yeah, it's been a while. And yeah, I never really thought of it like that. Because if you think about it, like TikToks are just more refined versions of Vine.
Yeah,
with
for sure.
Stronger identity, you could say.
It has like, it definitely seems to have staying power. As you can see, Instagram, Reels, YouTube Shorts. In fact, YouTube Alphabet seems to be certain that their money is better put behind that than streaming because they're not putting more of their money behind YouTube streaming when they could be.
Yeah.
They could totally demolish Twitch if they tried. But it doesn't seem like that's where they want to invest into. I think a lot of companies are currently imagining TikTok will eventually go down successfully through their efforts, lobbying efforts, and then they get to hopefully take most of that, cannibalize most of that audience for either Instagram Reels or YouTube Shorts.
Yeah.
And so, yeah. But, go ahead, sorry.
I was going to say, that'd be like so crazy too, because when I, like, in my mind, TikTok, Instagram Reels, and YouTube Shorts are like 3 different things. You know what I mean? Like, if I look at a TikTok, just like the stuff that, because like usually a lot of Instagram Reels are like reposted TikToks, but like the communities surrounding each are different.
Oh, it's the engagement is very different.
Yeah.
Yes. So the content may be the same depending on your algorithms, right? But yes, Instagram Reels have like this tremendous I think it's because Instagram, I don't know what it is.
Something about Instagram Reels makes people really racist, I guess.
Yeah, maybe it's because Facebook. Maybe if you have Facebook, you're likely to have Instagram, right? And most people who have Facebook are racist and love to leave comments. I say racist. Most of them are old. Let's just say
they're old. I see a lot of young people being racist too, though. It's really scary.
Yeah, no, it is upsetting. But what else? Yeah, it's just for me, it's hard to imagine something coming in. But I'm sure there are things that we have not tapped into just yet. That a couple years from now we'll be like, oh, of course there was a vacuum for such and such. Why couldn't we think of it in the moment?
Yeah, I can see that.
But yeah, do you have any technological predictions in the immediate future, in the like next 5 to 10 years, that you expect to happen or would like to see happen? Maybe
here's one that I was I've thought about this for like a while. This is one of my predictions. I think the next 5 to 10 years, we're gonna see a haptic glove for VR come out, where it's like, it holds your fingers back to make you feel like you're holding something. And I think it's gonna malfunction, and there's gonna be a headline being like, "New Meta haptic gloves break child's finger," because it's gonna like pull it back too far.
Oh, I see.
That's my prediction. Specifically.
I like that prediction because the child is in pain within this theoretical. No, because it does seem like something. But that's the thing. You would think because that would be such a big risk that they would make sure that wouldn't happen before they would release one. I would imagine.
Like, I don't know, maybe it'll be like something, here's my deep dive into this prediction. It's going to be like calibrated to his dad's grip strength, and then he puts it on and it's going to be like and pull his finger back.
Dude, what if this in the future, they create sex robots, but it's not like the robots people thought of, right? It's basically you get to buy the sex robot and pick on their like dimensions, and you can make them based off your partner. So your partner gets scanned, and specifically just the dimensions, but it doesn't get painted, nothing. It's just a solid color, one solid color, and then you put these glasses on, and your partner puts the glasses on, and they on their end have their own version of it too.
That's
and
crazy.
Then you engage, and they move as you move. And so, although you're not there next to one another, as you engage with this doll, who is the projection of your partner, it feels like you're making love to them.
Long distance,
and to them, it'll feel like you're making love to them, especially with haptic, everything maybe.
That's it. So, I could see that. I feel like that could just be like a long distance relationship enhancer.
Are we just writing Black Mirror episodes?
This is just Black Mirror episodes. Yeah, for real.
Hey, Black Mirror, hire me, okay? I can shed these ideas out.
Give me more.
Very easily. I would love something like that, although definitely not in the near future. I say would love something like that, but I think it could be nice. But just imagine, like, if this was a Black Mirror episode, it'd be like, it would keep cutting from the romantic and making out with your love to then cutting to just grunting and moaning and silence in a dark room as you're rolling around with like this,
That's so creepy.
just like, yeah, this mannequin essentially.
Yeah,
You
there's
know?
something weird about that. Yeah.
I think that could be a sick music video. I gotta do that at some point.
I just think the idea of having like a copy of your partner, but they're just like uncolored, like an unpainted Warhammer like miniature is really funny.
I was thinking more so just a mannequin, just a straight up mannequin
okay.
that's shaped like them. And once you put on the haptic suit, the texture of their body feels like them. And that there's like hair and all that or whatever. Or maybe it has a wig.
I'm
but
thinking
otherwise it doesn't really look like your partner.
Dude, just like a life-sized, like one of those
Like a
little
shadow.
drawing figurines, but it's like
Yeah.
a bluish gray and it has like a wig on.
yeah.
That's a really funny visual.
Yeah. I would make
Ugh.
it probably gray in the video, like a solid gray of some sort.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think, or white or something to make it pop, but
Oh, that's so funny.
it could be crazy, right? What if, but then, your partner tries to choke you out through this robot,
Yeah.
and then to say like, well, the robot must have malfunctioned or something.
Dude.
Oh, but if you do damage to your robot, it'll report it. It would have to be set up in a way it would report it to authorities that you're hurting another person, or maybe it would prevent you from being able to do that. There's like only so much pain that you can inflict. It doesn't let you.
Do you think there would be like certain privacy laws though? There'd have to be like some pretty strict privacy laws.
There would have to be
in terms
privacy
of-
laws, but for sure. But some sort of like protection. Okay, protocols that maybe that don't involve people, but like involve AI or some sort of computation that basically steps in after like it reads certain metrics. And
like
just
a maximum
and just
maximum
can't-
pressure availability.
Yeah, and it turns it off, or like it warns you, and it like starts to ease, like, warning, too much pressure. We will now automatically lighten it by 50% or whatever.
It starts like beeping like an Ava being. Yeah. The pilot tube shoots out the back of the neck.
Yeah. Let's see. What did you say? I didn't give one that was for like the immediate or near future. I feel like you gave a really good one.
Thank you.
Oh, maybe I would like to see more things for prosthetics, but also not just prosthetics, but things to like nanobot technology. I'm not very familiar with it, but that seems potentially interesting.
That'd be cool. Just
Just something that, okay, better yet, basically exoskeleton armor sets and things like that. They already exist,
Yeah.
and like you can put on certain exoskeletons, and like you can pick up way heavier things, and you can run for longer, and all these things because it's basically like it's just set up to basically operate almost like as a tool,
Yeah.
that just improves all those things. I would like to see that become more normalized and like more practical versions of them becoming more normalized.
Yeah, I mean, seeing what's available in robotics in general, it's insane to me that prosthetics are still where they're at. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, for
Like-
sure. But I mean, then there's certain prosthetics that you see and you're like, oh wow, that's very impressive.
That's true. I guess it's just like whenever I hear about prosthetics, I'm always astonished because it looks like a pretty basic like artificial leg, and they're like, "This was $30,000."
Yeah,
I'm like, "What?"
yeah.
It's just like it's like an attachment to their stump, and then it's just like a metal tube.
Yeah. I don't know. I can't. I'm not gonna pretend like I fully understand what our advancements look like on that front so far.
That's true. I guess I don't know either.
But what I do know is that I would just like to see some more shit get normalized. I do wonder if there would be concerns of like it could be potentially used not for good.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like if I was trying to beat somebody up, and then I found out I could put on a suit that would allow me to beat them up and their whole crew, and not take any damage. I might do that, but then people could be like, well, What's stopping you from getting a car and just running your ops over? You know, there needs to be some sort of like conversation there and consideration, because you can't bring a car into office, but if you can be sneaky about your exoskeleton thing that's maybe you're wearing on the inside of your pants, for instance, right?
Yeah.
And you can't see it on the outside, but then when you go to kick someone, you can literally just shatter their leg like in half.
I could do that without an exoskeleton.
You just kick them in the leg and their leg explodes like a tomato, right? Because of, you're like, oh shit, I forgot I had this dang thing on still.
Yeah. I wonder,
that
like,
could be a risk.
That's an interesting like concept when it comes to something required for mobility.
You trip over a child, accidentally kick him into space. Oh no! I'm sorry, I just tripped. Sorry, go ahead.
I was thinking the idea of like if someone like requires something like that to move, but it's advanced enough to also become a weapon. It's a bit different than other weapons. You know what I mean? Because like weapons are weapons typically. Like that's their purpose. But when it's something that's like, I need this to have a second leg, but also there's like I can kick people into oblivion.
Yeah, I guess it's just like, with a knife, I can cut this apple up and share it with my friends, or I could use it to end my neighbor's life, and then his wife's life, and then his son's life, and then his whole lineage will be wiped before sunrise. You know, there's like, it depends which way you take it, so I guess it's application. But I'm also not trying to be like, people kill people, not items, when you have to accept that access to certain items makes you more likely to use those items.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I think that is a hard thing to deny.
Yeah, absolutely.
I would like to see maybe more technology that, like, I like the fact that, there's the cameras that the cops have to wear on their chest now, right?
Yeah.
And those don't always work, interestingly. They
have to like turn them on and off. They
have to turn them on and off, but there's also like a buffer. So like when you turn it on, it actually films the previous minute that's happened.
Oh, okay.
That's how they were able to, like, there's been a lot of cases. You can look some of them up on YouTube because there's like compilations, but there's like one infamous case where the cops, the video comes out of the footage, they go in somewhere, they plant some crack or like basically a package with drugs. They go around the corner and they're like, all right, let's do it. And then they come out and they're like, oh my God, those look like drugs. Yeah,
dude, those are drugs or whatever.
And that got leaked. That came out because they tried to report it, but then they forgot about the buffer at the start.
Oh my goodness, bro.
Yeah, shit like that happens all the time.
That's so dumb.
I would like to see more technology that, because currently a lot of technology that's out sort of benefits cops and things like that, and systems that are like kind of more oppressive systems rather than giving power to the people, right?
Yeah.
So it would be nice to see some of that asymmetry get addressed, at least in the short term. And I do know that there have been some promising progress on that. I urge people to look into some of the, I don't remember if it was Wi-Fi or Bluetooth. It might be Bluetooth signals, but basically there's a few hackers, I think in the last year, that were able to figure out a way through just like Bluetooth information, how to like hack into pretty much anything that gives off a Bluetooth signal.
Yeah.
And that includes...
It's called like
I forgot what it's
bluejacking,
called.
I think.
Yeah, and that includes the camera on the cops. It includes like knowing what weapons they have on them, because they also give off a Bluetooth signal.
Oh.
So that means you can map places out and the security and the available things that they have on them. You're able to potentially map out like, oh, there's this many people in here with this many guns and this many phones and this many things.
That's
and that
crazy.
is very useful information.
Yeah.
And it is very easy to obtain using the Bluetooth codec. And right now, everything pretty much works on Bluetooth codec. It is kind of outdated, but everything just sort of is. We just kind of stuck with it, but it's not. It is not from what I understand, a well-guarded form of thing. And so because of that, it can give us a lot of power. Now, don't forget, the powers that be that we talk about already have access to these abilities. They already can spy on anyone they want to. All of these things have been confirmed over the years. There's, whether it's leaks, I mean, mostly it's through the leaks that we've gotten to see all these kinds of things. But if the government really wanted to know shit, usually they have means to it. So whenever we discover ways of being able to also tap into that power as common folk, I think it opens up opportunity for, again, accountability at junctures where there is, I find, asymmetry in power.
Absolutely.
But yeah, that'd be interesting. Also, just like, I wonder what I don't want to see happen. I don't know. I feel like I've been so cynical about a lot of expectations. I just worry that, like, I don't like the idea of there being so many different streaming services now where it's starting to feel like TV channels again.
Yeah, it's just cable now.
Yeah, it started to feel like and a lot of things that like were free over time are starting to become more expensive.
Yes.
And because we've been, the last 10, 15 years, we've kind of existed in an era where torrenting culture hasn't been particularly prevalent. And I think the torrenting culture forced people to learn certain like basic shit to do with computers and like getting around on the internet.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you didn't know how to do that, then you didn't get to watch Sopranos.
I couldn't watch Naruto episode 1, part 1 of 5.
100%. You couldn't watch Naruto if you didn't know how to torrent, if you wanted to watch all of it, right? There's certain things that like you couldn't get to certain albums if you didn't have a certain amount of money or access to certain iTunes stores because the albums weren't out everywhere always at the same time. And so people, as a result, I think were more like savvy during that era on some of these fronts. And that savviness has dissipated over time. In place for other savviness, I would say like the younger folks are way better at editing. I think, because of access to things like CapCut, the average young person has probably edited something at least once. That's crazy. My generation, I must be one of 1% of people that edit videos for my generation. It's become so much more prevalent. So I don't want these tools to be, and that's good. I do think the fact that they're using these tools and they're more savvy in that regard, that is useful. But I don't want the other types of savviness of navigating the internet and obtaining tools that aren't just being provided to you directly by like these big stores.
Yeah. Right?
Like whether it be Spotify or YouTube or whatever it is. I worry that as we neglect developing that kind of savviness of navigating the internet, it becomes more difficult for us to just navigate our futures. You're kind of leaving a lot more up to just fate and whatever happens, and you're trusting corporations, and just do, if you are choosing to do so, I do recommend. I do think there is some value in learning how to obtain certain things that people may not want you to obtain. Okay? Mitch is looking at me as if I'm saying a problematic thing.
No, I agree.
Okay. And I specifically want to iterate what I mean by that. Like it's not necessarily just media. Sometimes it can be the truth. It can be access to things. Don't take the fact that you have access to things for granted, because they can get taken away from you. Things can get censored. Things can get banned. Things can get basically cut off from certain channels of access and things like that. And at that point, unless you're being spoon-fed it, the only way you'll be able to find that information is if you know how to look for it, you know?
Yeah.
So
That kind of stuff is super important for real. Like I've been kind of on a kick of making sure I like save more stuff recently, just because like stuff gets taken down all the time, and you don't realize you'll miss it until it's gone.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. So there's projects I've heard of. Like there's this one. This is really cool. It's a Minecraft server and it's a library and it's full of like in-game books, but the books are like copy and pasted from like actual books. And they have like everything in it, and it's specifically books that are like banned in certain countries, so people from those countries can go on that server and read it, and it's just cool. I'm just playing Minecraft.
Yeah. That's really sick.
Yeah.
That's really sick. I love shit like that. That's really dope. And also just like you're right about things disappearing, like the physical content. I have certainly CDs that you can't listen to anywhere on any streaming platforms. You know, it just doesn't exist. It might exist as a YouTube upload. Enjoy that, right? But you know, I've got the CD quality master always available to me, and I could burn it onto my computer or multiple hard drives, you know?
Yeah. If I'm downloading something off of like SoundCloud, or not SoundCloud, like Bandcamp, you know, I always make sure I grab WAV and FLAC files, you know?
That's good. That's a good call. Also, for those who have SoundCloud and you have like a bunch of private stuff maybe uploaded or your own catalogs uploaded, make sure you download all of that stuff and have it backlogged. I don't expect SoundCloud to... I expect SoundCloud to potentially just surprisingly go under anytime in the next few years. They've been operating at a tremendous loss for so long. It could literally happen at any moment, so don't over-rely on using it as a Dropbox or a Google Drive.
Yeah.
Those would be better alternatives, and even those are not promised to you forever.
Yeah.
But yeah, having ability to keep some of that, but also having the ability to know how to access certain things is going to become important. I do suspect we're also kind of at the tail end. Maybe I'm too optimistic about this. Tail end of the Wild West of the internet. I think there will come a time within our lifetimes where anonymity will be a thing of the past on the internet, for the sole purpose that the internet is now no longer a niche place. It is, in many respects, the public square, the public marketplace, etc., right? And with so many people going there and with so much money being transferred and so much data, etc., there needs to be a higher level of control and accountability, which I think will have to come in the form of identification in some sort, right?
I could see that. Like everybody, like your internet access is like associated with your social security number or something like that.
Yeah, exactly. Or like your name is everywhere. You know, like your first name at least is displayed or available. Or if if you break certain terms of certain things. The problem is, like, as I think about all these rules, my concerns are immediately like, why would I trust a company to enforce these rules and to exercise access or control over access to a lot of these things, right? But that's because in my perfect world, if like we're using something that's so commonly used that it's like everyone's using it, then it should become a social service to an extent. The government needs to intervene because chances are our money, our tax dollars is already going towards subsidies for these motherfuckers anyway. We're all spending time on there. That we need to have a little bit more degree of control, and we can't have any control over it if it's just purely a private entity. If there was more of some sort of like, after a certain part, if a certain amount of people are using it, then it becomes a public service and it's partially publicly owned, partially privately owned, you know, or whatever. There needs to be some sort of oversight. If there was oversight, then maybe I would be more welcoming of the end of the Wild West of anonymity. I do think it will help also like cut down tons and tons of like child pornography and things like that, if we're able to track people more
absolutely
in a more concrete way. I do think there's a lot of positive to be drawn from that, but there's also a lot of awful ways that this could be misused in the wrong hands. And then a lot of other people would be like, well, why would you trust the government? Well, it's like, well, these are the people we're actually voting for on a local level. At the very least, we have some more control over. So it's like, if at that point we can't even trust those and we're not even trying, then you're just, in my opinion, being a nihilist. And that's fine. But that is of no interest to me. Just like step aside. You know, you can be nihilistic all you want. I am not. Yeah, I'm curious to see where the internet goes. I just know things will continue to change. There will be a higher degree of control. I hope eventually in the future people are able to vote online. I think in America that's going to take forever. I think in some countries you already can, but in America there will be strong opposition forever on this front, especially from Republicans, because they know if the youth could vote and certain communities could vote, then Democrats would have higher vote numbers, right?
Yeah.
Because of, I don't know how well people know this, but like there's years of like rigorous, deliberate effort that's been put into trying to prevent people from getting to vote. In particular, impoverished black neighborhoods. There is no holiday in America when you know, on the day that you vote. That means like a lot of people, unless they are rich, can't afford to necessarily take that time off.
Yeah.
A lot of younger people are in college when they can first vote, and they don't know whether they're supposed to register with their like local stuff that's near their college or back home. And so a lot of them just end up missing out on it, et cetera. And there's many other ways in which, like, you know, making it illegal in certain states and certain places for people who have gone to prison to vote, right? For felons to vote. That's another, and we know disproportionately black people get targeted. Again, and also just disproportionately, you could argue, or like in a vast majority of black voters vote for Democrats. Again, this is called voter suppression, and these sort of techniques and tactics have always existed and persisted, and it's part of why the American voting system is still so archaic, which is fine, but I do hope in the future at some point we find a way to make it more accessible for everyone to vote and easier for everybody to vote. And hopefully there's a way for people to have accountability over the kind of shit they say online, whilst also having a degree of not just living in what's it called, like a state where you're constantly a surveillance state.
Yeah.
You know, you don't want to be in a surveillance state either, but you know. Yeah. We have to, I guess, as people, wrestle with a lot of these thoughts and figure out, like, okay, on the spectrum of things that really matter to us, what are some of the key things that matter to us? What is it that we want to preserve as we go through the evolution of us and the internet together versus what we want to grow out of or, grow from and develop on?
Yeah.
Anyway, I don't know why this ended up being such a future and computer and technology.
This is the intellectual episode.
This is what happens when Bill's not around, okay? We break out the Gundams.
We talk about futures. We talk about politics.
Well, yeah, exactly. We discuss all that serious kind of stuff that Bill doesn't let me ever get into.
Yeah, Bill has like a button on his desk that if we start getting too serious or intellectual, like, he can press it and we get like a little shock.
Yeah, it's like in our, like, it's the little things that we inserted, right?
Yeah.
Can I take it out, actually? It's like,
I guess he's not here.
Really
I guess we could do that, actually.
Well, Mitch, Bill's not here today, but would you be so kind as to explain to our dear viewers what it is that we have over on our Patreon?
Well, over on our Patreon, we have an extra hour a week of content. You're watching this right now. You spent the past hour watching it with us. You can go watch another hour right after this. Boom. You know what else we got? If you pay, that's $5 a month. Okay. If you pay $20 a month, you know what you get? You get an advice segment.
Boom.
Okay. Boom. You know what else you get?
What?
We just changed this recently. You're going to be getting a once a month game night with us.
Boom. That's 5 booms right there. That's right, y'all. That's
what you were doing.
That's 5 out of 5 exo booms right there. We have a new thing for our dear tier 2 subs. Indeed, here and out, instead of doing the advice segment twice a month, we're doing it once a month. We think that's enough.
Bill can forget what bi-weekly means again.
Yeah, well, you can forget about bi-weekly and what Fortnite means and all these things. Once a month is nice and easy. And then also, indeed, we will be having gaming night. Sometimes gaming night might become karaoke night. We'll kind of play it by ear. But most importantly, we're doing more stuff. We also recently started releasing nearly daily promo videos across our socials for the upcoming tour, keepthechangetour.com. And I've been uploading the non-edited versions of all those promos so far to the Patreon, voidfm.net. So if you want to see what it looked like when we first filmed it and then compare it with what the final product was, do it. Subscribe to us and enjoy. And we upload tons of content all the time. I think we're pretty consistent about it, right? And
yeah,
Mitch is frightening me, but I'm just trying to. I'm not scared.
Yeah.
I'm not scared. I saw you getting red a second ago. I wasn't. Yeah, I'm gonna look over here while I continue talking. Yeah, please. Thank you so much for supporting us on Patreon. Please come out to see us. Get your tickets now. We can't wait to see you guys. By next week. Next week is the last week before the tour.
I know. That's crazy.
Holy shit. We have so much to do, but it is exciting. We can't wait to see y'all. Please take good care of yourselves and one another. Much love. Bye-bye. Peace.
The following is a preview of this week's Patreon exclusive episode. Available now over on the Void FM podcast Patreon.
I hope you guys aren't mad at me. And if you are mad at me, it's fine.
I used to smoke weed every day, so now I don't. It's a little bit difficult to fall asleep at night, and I keep having these crazy fucking dreams.
I started making these TikTok sleepy time mocktails.
I would like to ask how you guys go about managing your time.
I'm pretty bad at it, actually.